What's up guys, Intellitech Studios here, and today is episode 38 of the legendary Vacuum Save, the show where we save vacuums from thrift stores, curbs, Facebook Marketplace, and everything in between. We've got a couple of really cool entries into this episode, including the Phantom Cyclone XT, the Rubbermaid Maxi BLS, a commercialized version of a Bissell that is very popular, a classic Oreck and hand vac combo, and a lovely commercial Rubbermaid among a few elites, and a Eureka Ultima, and one of the best budget-bagged canisters that you can buy, the Bissell Zing. So, we're going to get into this really quick, starting out with, well, what do you think I'm going to start out with? I am the Phantom guy, and I'm very excited to get this Phantom Cyclone XT. So I purchased this on Facebook Marketplace. I actually purchased this for only $25, and coincidentally enough, I wasn't even looking for it whenever it popped up in my Facebook Marketplace. I simply clicked on Marketplace. It had just been listed 10 minutes prior, and it was in a city that is bordering mine. Well, not really quite, it's technically across state lines, but it's about an hour away, and it was one that I go to very frequently, and it was only 25 bucks, like I mentioned. So I immediately messaged the seller, said I will pick this up tomorrow. I was convinced to make the drive. I had the gas money and everything. I had the 25 bucks. I was convinced to get it, and she said that's great. She set it out, and I picked it up. So this is the result, the Phantom Cyclone XT, a machine that I've been trying to get into my collection for over 15 years now, especially ever since seeing this machine on the lovely Phantom Vacuum Fans YouTube channel. So I finally got one of these, and the good news is, well, look at it. It's here. It's right in front of me. As far as the attachments, if we flip up this lid, it does have the bare floor nozzle. It is missing the dusting brush and the crevice tool, so I will have to find those, the latter of which I did find on eBay, former of which I haven't quite found yet, although I can always use one from my Fury in the meantime. Won't fit in the slot, but it will fit on the hose. So, as we can see, there are some paint marks and some signs of wear and whatnot. It's a little bit dusty. It needs cleaned. I will do that off camera. If we actually slide up the HEPA filter door, we can see the HEPA filter right in here. Since I know everyone always loves to see the filters on this, this one you have to kind of lever out. Oh, okay, I dropped it. So, we can see this is a genuine Phantom filter, or at least it's a Phantom endorsed filter. Apparently it was manufactured June 2nd, 1961. I don't believe that is correct. Let's see, I'm trying to see if there's a date code on this. I can't really see one, but based on the amount of dirt, it looks like this is the original filter, or at least close to it. So, we do have some debris on the filter, and there is a good amount of dust in the filter cover, so this machine will need to be stripped down to the motor and cleaned, but that is a task I'm willing to partake in. So, we're going to go ahead and slide this back in here. Even though this filter probably does need change, the replace filter LED has not turned on yet, although generally it takes a lot for that actual indicator to turn on a Phantom. If that indicator has turned on, then chances are the filter is completely shot. So, now we're just going to take that and slide that back over it, click it into place. Now it's on all the way. Height adjustment knob works just fine, clicks very nicely. Looking at the bin, we pull this tab down, and that allows us to pull out the canister. This little filter up here appears to be fine. There isn't much wrong with it. It does have some debris in it, probably could do to be replaced. I might try washing this, but I'm not quite sure about that. I could have sworn there was another filter that goes in here, but apparently not. So, putting that back in. Lovely little smiley face. We can see there is a cracked portion right there on the Cyclone guard, but you can see the actual Cyclone holes aren't affected by it, so it's only cosmetic, thankfully. And I did use this for a bit. It did pick up a good amount of dirt, so I think that's a bit of a spoiler as far as the functionality of this machine. So, pushing this back in place, which is really hard to do with one hand, because you have to kind of push it upwards. Okay, this is not wanting to go back in with one hand. There we go. Now it's in. And this is also your carrying handle as well on this machine. So the cord is in perfect condition. There's no splits or cuts anywhere in the cord. There's no damage to the plastic body that I've noticed. And leaning this forward, we can see there is some cuts to the sticker. You can see this was manufactured on the 10th week of 2000. So yeah, very big plastic wheels. No rubber coating, unfortunately. And as far as looking at the hose wand, see the squeeze and go wand works just fine. No splits in the hose that I noticed. Everything appears to be in good shape. So, now all we have to do is just go ahead and plug this in. One thing that is interesting about this machine, as opposed to other Phantoms and Dysons and even Sharks, well, at least earlier Sharks, is that you actually don't need to remove the entire cord in order to get access to the hose, despite it being a hose handle with it integrated very similar to a Dyson. So that's an interesting little quirk in this machine that I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate. We also have a brush roller shutoff, and before we demonstrate that, we'll go ahead and look at the brush roller. Of course, the paint is scratched off on the brush. That tends to happen with age. But everything down here appears to be in good shape. These height adjustment wheels are always a little bit funky, but it is working. Got some rubber coated wheels right here. But then, of course, these and these are hard plastics. That doesn't really do a whole lot. Brush roll's a bit squeaky, but it does spin. It's not locked up. There's no play in the housing. So, it looks good. Okay. So now's the time that we turn it on. Headphone warning. This, unfortunately, does not sound the healthiest. So, we've got a warning. Okay, turn down your volume. Now this has two separate switches, one for floors and tools and one for carpets. So we're going to turn it on. So as you could hear and see, the performance of the machine is excellent. The brush roll spins as it should. The suction on this is excellent, especially for a Phantom. This was definitely the generation of Phantom along with the Lightning that really improved hose suction and performance. So that definitely shows that this machine does work as intended, and the listing describing it as works like new can certainly be interpreted that way. As the headlights are good, the belt is in good shape. It is a secondary motor in this machine after all, and that appears to be spinning and engaging the brush roller as it should. So it has a bit of a smell to it, as you'd expect after this length of time, and the motor's bearings unfortunately sound very dry, and as a result sound very metallic and as if the machine is grinding on its own bearings. So that was evidenced by the very long wind down, But the good news is that everything functionally on the machine is fine. So the machine is usable, and simply dropping a new motor into this machine or rebuilding the current motor with good bearings would easily solve that problem and make this machine mint condition, because there is nothing wrong with it. There's a few scratches on the base, as you'd expect, but I'm sure those will buff out just fine. So a new motor, or at least some work done to the motor, and a couple attachments thrown in here, maybe a HEPA filter as well, and a bit of a cleaning, and this machine will be top shape. So for a Cyclone XT, a machine that is definitely considered rare nowadays, not as rare as the Crosswind 600 XL that replaced it, but still very rare, given the fact that not many of these were sold, as these were produced right before Phantom went bankrupt. This is certainly a good find nonetheless, and something that I'm very excited to add to the collection. Anyways, on to the next one. Alright, the next machine here is a Cibo knockoff. This is a Rubbermaid MH-12. And unfortunately, this is one of those machines where I'm very happy with it, but dissatisfied as it's unusable. And the reason why is this doesn't use genuine Cibo bags. It uses its own proprietary bag that has its own docking system, and of which I am unable to find bags for it. So if anyone has any leads and knows where I can find bags for a Rubbermaid MH-12, please let me know, as I'd really like to be able to use this machine. But other than that, this machine is a good find, and this one was one that I bought from Brazevax, I believe. I could be wrong about that, I'm pretty sure it was Brazevax. And I got a really good deal on this. It was one of those machines where he was like, I just want to get rid of it. Then I was like, well, will you take this much? And he's like, no, I want this much. And it's like, okay, well, are you really getting rid of it at that point? But anyways, I did end up getting it, and unfortunately, it is the case that the original bag that was in this was thrown away. At least I believe that was the case. And I am unable to get bags for it. So while it's complete, while it's in excellent condition, and while it was a great deal for the quality of machine this is, ultimately, if I can't find bags, then this machine is of no use. So that's very unfortunate. I will still run the machine, but there is going to be no running it on the carpet, as everything that's sucked up would just get stuck on that filter and potentially into the motor. So that is that. But I will still run this real quick just to show that it does run. So it works beautifully. It sounds great. It's nice and quiet. Has a nice soft start motor. It's very similar to my Cibo G1. It's basically identical, in fact, to my Cibo G1. But I bought the Cibo G1 because I found out that I can't use this machine. So a very nice addition to the collection. Something I'm glad I have, because it's very obvious by the lack of bags that this machine is collectible at this point and not at all relevant for commercial use. And I'm sure that sucks for all the people that bought this, as you can't seem to get bags anymore. At least I have yet to find a lead on bags for this machine. So if anyone finds anything, like I mentioned for the MH-12, be sure to let me know, because I'd love to be able to use this machine and do a review on it. Alright, so now we've got... Oh, come on, stop being blurry. There we go. So now, let me clean off the lens real quick, just so I don't do that again. We've got a Bissell PowerForce 6579-2, which I honestly didn't need this. I spent $7 at Goodwill. I have so many of these things, but this specific model is very popular. A lot of people want to see it, and I figured, what the heck. I'm seeing rusted out screws everywhere. This thing is not in good shape. I have a feeling it's not going to run properly. It's probably going to be completely shot, like a lot of these are that are trashed like this. Oh, what am I in for? Let's look at the post-winter filter. That looks white for some reason. Okay, that's the wrong filter, and there's coarse debris in there, so a lot of that is bypassing into the motor. Oh. Okay, we have the inner and outer circular filters. the separators there, and there's no pre-motor filter, and there's debris all over in here. For those who've been wondering about the background noise, I have an air purifier running at full blast because this thing is probably going to spew a bunch of dust out into my house. So, there, let's look at the bottom real quick. Okay, brush roll spins. Brush roll's probably good, so that might be salvageable. Ironically, it only has the combo tool. Usually this is the tool that goes missing first, but in this case, it's the only one it has. Let's see what this does. Ooh. It sounds like it's clogged. Headlight works. It's 12 amps, of course, so it's making my whole house freak out. Gotta love living in an old house where the grid sucks. It sounds like there's something jammed in the brush. Let's see if it... Okay, is this on bare floor, like these always are? I can't even tell because there's so much crap caked on it. I'm pretty sure that's on low. Ooh, it smells like it's burning. That's great. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. Is that clogged? Of course, some people are going to comment. Oh, that is clogged. Look at that. Ew. Yuck. Ew. There's dust all over the place now. What if they suck up? Ugh. Is this hose even... Here, let me try reversing this. Okay, good suction. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal the hose off this one and see if that makes it work. And I'll actually install it properly too. Okay. Okay. Suck up a few hamsters. Yeah, plug this one now. Well, now I've got two clogged hoses. I tried. Okay, well, it does work. And the motor's not horrible. A little worn sounding like a lot of these are, but honestly, I expected much worse given the state of the rust and all that all over the machine. You can see these screws are just brown with rust. So if I do take this apart to clean it, which I'm probably going to do, I'm definitely throwing away these screws and ordering a new set. I believe Bissell still sells them. And if not, I think they use the same ones on all the new machines. So at least there's that. That air purifier needs a raise because he is working overtime. Ugh. That just probably took 3 years off my lifespan. But that's okay. Ugh. So now, let's try another piece of bagless crap. Alright, and from the same Goodwill, This time for $1 more. Hopefully that means it's better condition. We have this Eureka Ultima. So, let's see how this does. Oh, that sounds bad. Oh, and I hear crunchies. Almost like there's sand in the motor. And the levers failed. Wow. And the brush roll doesn't spin. Oh, goodness. Oh, the brush roll seized. And there's a burning smell. And the wheels are missing. I didn't notice that. Of course, the one time that I run it without checking the brush roller is when this roller is seized. Ooh, that burning smell is great. I just love it. So I think now would be a time. Let's see. How about maple sugar drizzle? That'll cover up the smell. Let's put a lovely wax cube in the warmer, and that should take care of that. I'll do that off camera. Much better. That should hopefully take care of some of these smells. I don't know who got this horse thing. It's really stupid, but I'll put it back on there, since that's the way it was. Alright, next we have an Oreck Buster B. Perfect to match that lovely Oreck XL signature. So, this one I've already got plugged in and assembled, since it was kind of banded together with tape and whatnot. Let's see what the information is on this. Oreck Corporation, New Orleans, Louisiana. Okay. Let's see how it runs. It's a little loud, but for 15 bucks, considering it has everything with it, I think it actually is missing that little adapter tool, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to get it. Oh no, I think that's right here. I think I have to deattach it from this. So yeah, it has everything with it. Has a crevice tool, a dusting brush, although not a very good one. The bristles are really stiff. Upholstery tool that looks like a big SIBO knockoff. And we've got 2 wands and a hard floor tool. So, not too bad, honestly. And this is a standard 1.25" fitting, so you theoretically could attach a standard floor head like from that Zing if you wanted to do low pile rugs as well. I don't know if this has enough power for a turbo brush, but that'd be interesting to try. I would love to get one of those just to try it. But yeah, you have a very short, non-stretchy hose, so a little awkward, but for 15 bucks, I certainly can't complain. At the time when I got this, I didn't have the Zing yet, so I mainly got this for bench vac purposes, but now I have the Zing, so I'll probably use one or the other for a bench vac. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's the Oreck XL compact canister vacuum, and that's that. So now, on to the upright Oreck. I think I found the culprit as to why this isn't running too well. This bag has a hole in it, which means it was spewing a lot of that out of the exhaust into my room. And that doesn't look too good. Probably should have checked that before I ran it. But hopefully that'll be easy enough to open this up and clean it out and make it run a little bit smoother. At least that's the goal. So trying to use a straight suction canister on my relatively thick, not thick, but for a straight suction head, thick pile of carpets, not a very good idea. So, as you can tell, I did, as you can see, execute a last-minute change of plans where I pulled out the Zing instead of the other Oreck, so that way I would have a hose to clean up the Buster B, which I did. And that filter is shot. This thing is all puffy, and you can see a lot of the fibers got sucked into the motor. So this filter is just completely cooked. No ways around it. I'm going to have to change that. So thankfully this Zing, which I acquired from the lovely Handy Andy, I will link his channel in the description if I can find it, gave me this for 20 bucks and included a few Bissell filters for the Bissell Total floors that I am fixing up as well. Very nice, lovely black and green color, matches that machine perfectly. And for 20 doll hairs, this was a really good machine. It's got a Simplicity Jill bag in it, as you can see. And yeah, this machine is very, very nice for the price. You can see you got a lovely HEPA bag in here, designed for the Simplicity. Does an excellent job at filtration. The paper bags this machine normally comes with are not the best quality, but this certainly makes up for it. Even as a suction control slider, you get a lot of value in this machine for only $60. And I'm looking, oh, excuse me, have the hiccups. And I'm looking forward to doing a full review on this machine very soon. I've been using it as my bench vac, now I don't have my actual workbench set up downstairs in the basement yet, but it is still my bench vac, as in the vac that I generally use to clean up other vacuums. And it will be served for that purpose, because I'm going to clean up a lot of the sand and stuff out of that Ultima, and some stuff out of that Bissell as well, to hopefully get those to be a little bit better and not as full of debris before I eventually strip them down to wash them. So, very nice, adorable little machine. You can still buy this in like a purpley lavender color for about $60. And, you know, I'm mainly just very happy to get this for as good of a price as I did. Because, again, 20 bucks shipped to my door, not a bad deal at all. So, definitely very nice. Big shout out to the lovely Handy Andy, and definitely very appreciated to have this machine. This will be seen many more times on the channel, whether passively or otherwise. So, while it is missing the other smaller attachments, since this is a standard 1.25" fitting, not only can the Oreck's attachments work with it, but so can a lot of other attachments from plenty of other machines. So that is very nice indeed. So Bissell Zing, very nice acquisition, and one that's not as much for the collection, but more so a very practical acquisition for a lovely endeavor. And now, from Vacuums and Carpet Cleaner Guy, we have the acquisition, or should I say the follow-up to the acquisition, the Oreck XL Pro Plus. So this is a machine I've been wanting for quite a long time, and I actually had gone to his page to purchase a different machine, an XL Classic, I believe. And I saw this, and it was in much better condition, and it was still a really good price. So I asked him, I was like, hey, I know I was going to get the Classic, but is it cool if I get this instead, you know, for the same price? And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I got it. And that's it. That's the entire story. So I got one of these, which I've been wanting one of these for a long time, because I love the color scheme on these. And it's basically just like a pro version of the XL2 Ultra or the C-Lock Hypoallergenic Plus. So we can see we've got a brand new brush roller in it. Lovely CWP brush roller with relatively soft bristles. Could use a stiffer set of bristles, but that's just how the replacements are nowadays. So it's not going to be the best in terms of deep cleaning agitation. If you want a better agitating Oreck, you're going to want to upgrade to an XL21 Platinum or one of the new Command Elevate or Conquer machines. But we have the squeegee here, that's still in good shape. Doesn't have the spare belt, but that's not a big deal. Those usually aren't in the best shape anyways. Several sets of rubber-coated wheels, which is odd because this machine does only have one speed, so you don't have the lower speed for hard floors. But still, despite that, it still has rubber-coated wheels, which I really like. So even if you run it along your bare floors, it's not going to scratch it. So I do really enjoy this machine. You can see right there, it's apparently from 2009. I did not know that these were that new. But yeah, it is. So this one is from Oreck in Cookeville, Tennessee, as opposed to New Orleans, Louisiana. Very interesting. So it has the same kind of loose handle issue that a lot of Orecks have, but this one is very minor. Like, you don't really notice it while you're using it. Got the pocket back here for bags and manuals and whatnot, and it does have a bag in here. I will eventually get some Oreck HEPA bags, but in the meantime it does have what appears to be just a generic basic paper bag in here, which is better than nothing. So we have the standard Oreck CC dock system. I'm actually not sure how this is in here. I'm relatively unfamiliar with Oreck's dock system since it's been a long time since I've used an Oreck on any regular basis, but it is there. So, very beautiful black and blue color scheme. Has a very nice thick cord too, which is another thing that makes me think it's almost like a light commercial Oreck. But yeah, got the helping hand handle, which I think it's a nice handle. I think it's a little big, but it's still nice. So yeah, with that said, this is definitely a machine where I enjoy using it, and my back definitely enjoys using it, but I just wish it had some tools on it. That'd be really nice. I love to get a Gary for that reason, although Garys are really hard to find nowadays. But anyways, let's go. This is unfortunately one of those machines where one thing I always forget about these classic Orecks, other than the fact that you can't roll them, as you can see, since there's no height adjustment on these, they really don't perform well on my carpets. You can see, well, I should say, they perform great, don't get me wrong. You can see the carpet lines, you could hear it agitating as I pulled it back, but the brush rolls just bog down on these, and it causes a lot of wear and tear on the belts. This one does have a slight burning smell after just this short room. So if I was to actually use this to clean my entire house, the entire downstairs mainly, because obviously these thick carpets are what would hurt it. Hi, Boots. After getting the bedroom and the living room, well, after about 2 weeks or so, I'd have to change the belt. So that's not very good, and that is unfortunate. I don't think that's a fault of Marco or anything. I think that's just the design of the machine, because again, we have a brand new brush roll in it. And so yeah, probably not going to be a daily driver for that reason, which is unfortunate because I do really like this machine. But yeah, so that will do that. So yeah, Oreck XL Pro Plus, very nice addition to the collection. And yeah, on to the next one. Alright, now we have another machine that I acquired from Vacuums and Carpet Cleaner Guy, and this one's probably not going to stay in the collection because, I don't know if you can see how far it's leaning back. Something I didn't really know whenever I was ordering it, otherwise I honestly wouldn't have bought it, but here's what it is. So it does work, and it's definitely a good performing machine. It's very loud in traditional elite fashion, but because of its flaw, I will eventually be selling it, probably to, I believe, Rick Hoover said he wanted this, but I could be wrong about that. Either way, so we're going to go ahead and give this, let's see, is it on high? Yes it is. We're going to give this PowerMax to a run. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and end up buying a Dimension Supreme, if need be stealing the accessories off of this and putting it on there, and then selling this, because I don't really like the green and yellow color scheme anyways. So But yeah, we'll give this a run. It's an Elite, so plug your eardrums. 3, 2, 1. And based on that sound, it probably needs a new fan as well, because the thing does make a lot of buzzing sounds. But you can't really get fans for Elites very easily anymore, so there's not much I can really do about that. My convertible Elite is the same way, and it's honestly making me almost want to sell the machine, even though I do really like it. But this is definitely going to get sold, at least once I find, at a minimum, once I find a Dimension Supreme to replace this, because I want to get an Elite that has the front-mounted tool caddy. So, but in the meantime, it's still a cool machine to have. And, you know, I'll do a few videos on it and pass it along to another collector who can hopefully appreciate it and maybe fix that leaning issue, because that I've never fixed on an Elite. I'm not sure if that's a simple thing or it's not. Maybe I'll figure out how to fix that, or maybe if you know how to fix that and it's not too hard or not too annoying, or you can get the part to fix it, then I might actually go ahead and fix it and keep it. But you know, as is, a little disappointing, but it still does work, and it is still a neat addition to the collection. And we have another thrift store find. This one was from, I believe, a Salvation Army, but don't quote me on that. And I took the sticker off, so I can't exactly remember. I think I got this for, it was either $4 or $7. I want to say $7. I could be wrong about that as well. This is another Hoover Soft and Light. I really didn't need one. I have 2 of them currently, although I did just sell one of them to Vacuums and Carpet Cleaner Guy, along with an Encore Supreme that I'll be shipping out on Monday. As of the time I film this, by the time this video goes up, he'll have it. But this machine, I figured, well, I like the color scheme of it more than the green one that I have, but it also doesn't have a headlight, which I'm not a fan of, but in some cases I am, some cases I'm not. So I thought, might as well pick it up, because if I don't pick it up, nobody else will, because nobody really wants these anymore. And it's just someone's going to buy it, get frustrated at how loud it is, and then throw it away. So I figured I would save it, hence the name of the show. So the hose is already connected. There's no attachments, but they're easy enough to find for one of these. So we're going to see how loud this piece of junk runs. And brush roll's in really good shape, surprisingly. Single row brush roller. Those need a bit of lubrication and a bit of a clean. But let's see, and I know there's a bag. I know there's a bag in here, and it's very full. Yeah. So, anyways, see how loud this piece of crap is. Ew. And of course, it puffed out a bunch of dust, like these are well known to do. Ugh. Anyways, on to the final machine, the Rubbermaid. And last but not least, we have the Rubbermaid Maxi Glide BLS, which I assume BLS stands for Bacon Lock Syringes. I don't know. But anyways, this is basically just a commercialized version of a Bissell Cleanview Power Track, and I acquired this one in a trade from Buster 1849 for my red Cleanview Special Edition. This one is model number 9V100 and was manufactured on the 220th day of 2005. So even though this was a later version, it actually has a lot of the early design choices from the very early Cleanviews, like the latch for the filter, despite it being released at a time when they had switched to the other filter grill design. So very odd. You can tell there was some damage to the hood that was fixed with some sort of silicone or something to that effect. And there's no headlight. I'm unsure if there's actually just a blank covering a socket, or if there's actually no socket in here and that have to be wired in. It's kind of interesting. But pre-motor filter's in good shape. Bin and everything's in good shape, and the filter up in the tank is in good shape as well. And I did add my Febreze filter as well. This one also has a brand new belt and brush roller in it, so in theory it should clean very well. So everything is in good shape, which that is nice. So it should hopefully get a good amount of stuff out of this carpet, even though I've ran a good number of machines. Now, it didn't come with any attachments, so I added those myself, or at least I know it didn't come with this one, because this one I kept, and I believe these I added as well. I could be wrong about that. This would have came with a gray crevice tool, obviously, but I have a black one on it right now, because it matches rather nicely. If only I had a yellow one to match the yellow. So, I'm not a fan of the yellow, and blue and silver are some of my favorite colors, so maybe it'd be kind of nice to find some blue parts to swap out for this. But, I don't know. Who knows? So anyways, we'll go ahead and give this a run. Strangely enough, it doesn't have very much. Excuse me. Strangely enough, it doesn't have very much suction, and I'm not sure why that is, because everything appears to be clear on it. But nevertheless, it does appear to have. So we'll go ahead and see what it got. It got a little bit of fine dust. Considering that was a very small portion of carpet that had just been vacuumed, that's actually not too bad. Of course, the filtration on this machine is not going to be good because it's based on the Samsung platform of bagless machines, but the Febreze HEPA filter at least makes it not so painfully obvious. So, still a really cool machine, not one that I'm going to be using too often because of the very lackluster filtration, but it still is a cool machine to have. So, that's that, the Rubbermaid Maxi Glide BLS, powered by Bissell. And that is episode 38 of Vacuum Saved concluded with a good number of machines. So anyways, this is Intellitech Studios signing out. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope y'all have a good one. Peace.